Well, hey there everybody, this is Snackbox coming to you from an absolutely phenomenally gorgeous day here in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm super amped to be talking to you today about segment 20 of the Colorado Trail. That's right, we are up in the 2-0s. You might be able to hear that hawk in the sky. It is crying out to us saying, good job, you're doing great. So stay with me here. We're gonna talk about that segment 20 of the Colorado Trail. We got a lot to cover and not a lot of time. Let's get to it. So segment 20 of the Colorado Trail goes from the Eddiesville trailhead all the way over to San Luis Pass. This segment goes 12.7 miles. It goes up in elevation about 3,100 feet and down in elevation about 1,500 feet. It is just a beautiful, really surprising segment. It's one that's gonna sneak up on you in all the best ways. So we've got to talk a little bit about what to expect and some of the best ways to plan for it, especially as you're leaving that Eddiesville trailhead where you're gonna have a bathroom, maybe a parking area, and lots of access to water. So what you need to know about this segment is that it's sort of shaped like a J. What's gonna happen is you're going to leave the Eddiesville trailhead, and then you're going to see from there, you'll see sort of a mountain peak or like a ridge line of sorts. And what basically is going to happen is you're going to walk toward the base of that. You're going to hook to the left. You're going to wind your way around it until you climb all the way up the back side of it to San Luis Pass. It's basically shaped like a J, if that makes any sense to you. This is an important sort of shape for you because it's going to help you understand some of the advice and tips that I have for you moving into segment 20 here. First thing that you need to know is based on what I've just described to you, you should recognize pretty quickly that you're going to be climbing almost entirely for the first 9 miles or so. So most of that climb is in the first 9 miles, but if you remember those numbers there, it's about 3,100 feet, which is great news. What that means is 3,100 feet over the course of 9 miles, with the last bit getting particularly steep. What that means for you is basically this is a tough climb, but certainly doable, and it's all on the front end, and it's all beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. What you're gonna do is you're basically gonna just climb all the first start of the morning or afternoon, wherever you're climbing it, and then you're gonna hop into this sort of saddle, this bowl. That's going to be basically where you're going to reside for the next sort of 6 or 7 miles or so before one of the gnarliest climbs of the entire trip. So as you're leaving the Eddiesville trailhead, my first tip is that you're going to want to walk all the way around that ridge line. So basically what will happen is you're going to leave the trailhead, you're going to start that segment. You'll know exactly where you are because there's going to be a bathroom there. Then you're going to walk around and it's basically going to be cow pasture land. In fact, for the first 2 or 3 miles, you're going to see a couple of houses off to the left and you're going to think the whole time, wow, I wish I lived there because this spot is beautiful. It is incredible, but you want to be respectful of those landowners. Not only do you want to be respectful of those landowners and stay off of their property, it's clearly marked, but you want to work your way around to where you're not even in view of their home. This is less for them and more for you, because what I can tell you is that if you wait until about 4 miles in, maybe even 4.5 miles in and set up camp, you're going to have great access to water, you're going to have a great view, and you're going to be up above those cow pastures. So keep making your way around. My first tip is to make your way all the way around. Don't stop for camp until about 4 miles in, especially if you decide not to camp at the Eddiesville trailhead. What this will allow is for you to get a beautiful view, stock up on a good bit of water before you make your way up to the San Luis Pass. But really and truly, my second tip is actually kind of goes against what I just said in a little respect. In this segment, all the way up to the top of the pass, even just a little bit past it, you don't need to worry about water at all. Don't carry a ton of water. Just take enough water to get to the next water spot, or just enough that you can fill up your belly, and you might not even have to carry any water at all. So this segment is littered with lots of stream crossings, and just know that that's a really important sort of thing that will help you to make good time through this segment, especially because, again, those first 9 miles or so are all climbing all the way up to that ridge line and to one of the most beautiful views in the whole segment. Based on that water availability though, sort of tip 2.2, 2B is to just expect that there's going to be a lot of water everywhere in the morning. So this goes for dew and condensation on your tents. If you camp in this segment or even earlier in the Eddiesville trailhead segment, you should expect that you're going to wake up to a pretty wet tent even if it doesn't rain at all, because all of that moisture is going to hang in that valley. Number 2, if you hike in the morning, which I still very much recommend that you do, if you hike in the morning, you're going to brush up against a lot of trees, especially because water means plant growth, and plant growth means that there's going to be brush that sort of overlaps the trail. So you're going to walk through a lot of moisture and humidity, and in the morning your clothes are going to get soaked, but just don't panic. Know that in the afternoon, once you hop over San Luis Pass, you're going to be in the sunshine most of the day, as long as it's not raining, of course, and you'll be able to dry out really quickly. So plan a time to stop and dry your tent out, dry your clothes out, sit in the sun. However you want to do it, just know that chances are good you're going to wake up wet in the morning and stay wet until the later part of the morning, but then you're gonna dry off really quickly, so don't be discouraged and don't think, how am I gonna get dry? You'll get dry, it's gonna be fine, you're gonna make it just fine. The last tip here is try to climb San Luis Peak if you have time. What's basically gonna happen is you're gonna spend that first 9 miles or so and you're gonna climb up to this sort of saddle, and then you're gonna have the side trail and you'll be able to see the top of a 14er in San Luis Peak off to the right. If you have time and it's safe and there aren't clouds in the area that look like they're ominous and about to turn into lightning clouds, make your way up to the top of San Luis Peak, especially if you've never done a 14er before, so you can say, you know what, I did a couple of 14ers, or I did a 14er on this trip. This is one of the most accessible 14ers of the entire state of Colorado. Highly encourage it, and even as you stop at the top of that saddle, you might be tired, you might be exhausted, because the last mile or so, it gets a little bit steeper through that segment, but still, save a little bit of energy, get up to the top. If you haven't had coffee yet in the morning, save it till you get to the top of San Luis Peak, have a cup of coffee there. I promise it's gonna be worth it. It's really incredible and really great. And then leaving there, you're gonna have 1,400 feet of descent, and you're only gonna have a small bump and climb, which is a pretty steep climb. It's about 300 feet toward the end of the segment, but then it's all downhill. You're gonna be in great shape. It is a beautiful segment. I love, love, love this one. It is just incredible. Keep an eye out for moose and other wildlife, especially in that valley. You can also, if you're up early enough or out late enough, you can probably see some beavers. And in the stream off to the left, you're gonna have the river that kind of passes through there, and off to the left, you'll see beaver dams through there. So be aware of that, especially water treatment is very important through this segment. And then off to the right is where I like to pull my water, because on the right side is where that mountain peak is. Remember, we wrapped our way around it, and the water is going to be coming off the mountain there, some fresh snow water. You still need to treat that water, but if you collect it from there, it's probably going to be cleaner as well. It's just a great way to go. You're going to cross a half a dozen different streams along the way up that sort of that gully. Take lots of that clean mountain water, enjoy it, live it up. That's why we do this whole hike. It's really incredible, I promise you. I think you're going to let me know that this is one of the better segments, especially for this whole entire trail. I think you're going to love it. I really hope you do. So that about covers it for this segment. If you found this information useful, I hope you'll join this community by clicking subscribe. I like to think of you all not as subscribers, but as community members. You know, YouTube won't let me change the language on the subscribe button, so just imagine instead of subscribe, it says join the community. I hope you'll click that one. It really does help us as we're getting word out on this community that we're forming. Hope you'll also click like on that. That'll just let me know that this information has been useful to you. And so click like if you have a second. I really appreciate that. I'm really grateful for those of you who have done that. And then for all of you, if you would like, send me a message on Instagram at Backcountry Champion. Say, hey, Snackbox, hit me up with one of those cool outside comfort zone stickers. I will get one in the mail to you. You don't have to pay for it. You don't have to do anything. You just have to let me know where your address is so that I can send you this sticker to say thank you for being a part of this community. I'm really grateful for all of you who are here watching this video now. And in the comments below, here's what I want to know. But let me know what kind of silly gag gifts you've gotten in the past before so that I can start thinking of some gag gifts to get my friend back who gave me this sweet, sweet mean mug. So I appreciate you all out there. I hope you're doing well. I hope it's beautiful wherever you all. I'm grateful for you, and I am gonna go take my pups and find them a spot to swim because it is swimming season, everybody. Take care out there. This Snackbox out. You know, if you want to be mean but dignified, you just put that pinky up. Truthfully, what I did is I used this mug when I was in Zoom meetings, because I do a lot of Zoom meetings like everybody does. And you know, you have the like 25 different screens with Zoom, and you got everybody's faces there, and they're all supposed to be paying attention, but nobody really is. And every once in a while, if I think somebody might be watching me, I just do. And if they crack, I know they were watching me. It's a good way to tell if somebody's got a crush on you. You know what I mean? You just make a face at them and give them the mean mug. And if they laugh, you're probably gonna smooch on them later.